In one of the last efforts to keep their superstar and MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo happy, late last night, the Milwaukee Bucks made a move to acquire a star-level guy in our league. Got a lot of respect around the association. Jrue Holiday from the New Orleans Pelicans. The Milwaukee Bucks will be sending Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, and a lot of draft picks. We're going to get into that more in a second here for Jrue Holiday, who comes over. Obviously, the Pelicans are in full rebuild mode. They're building around Zion and Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram. And honest to God truth, Jrue Holiday has just been the odd man out. He's too good. He's too good defensively. He wins you entirely too many games right now, and he takes Lonzo and B.I. off the ball too much for what the Pelicans are trying to do. So that's why he was the odd man out. It's been that way for a couple years now. We knew Jrue Holiday would be moved at some point. But I want to get back into this draft compensation that the New Orleans Pelicans were able to, and what I'm looking at is a fleece from Milwaukee. Listen to this. Besides the George Hill and Eric Bledsoe acquisition, the Pelicans will be getting 3 future first-round picks, and they're also going to get 2 pick swaps in this deal. This now, a lot of people around the league are saying this looks very similar to the Anthony Davis trade. All due respect for Jrue Holiday, but he ain't Anthony Davis, all right? Look, here's the breakdown. The Pelicans are going to get the 2020 first round via Indiana. The Pelicans are going to get the right to swap a 2024 pick, a 2025 unprotected. They'll get that one, and then they'll get the right to swap in 2026, and then they'll also receive a 2027 first round pick from Milwaukee, and that bad boy will be unprotected. So if the Bucks, if I'm reading them correctly, they're assuming that Jrue Holiday is going to be enough to propel them into the NBA Finals, and they got to win this thing because they're not going to have pretty much anything from a pick perspective going forward. They gave it all away, and I'm assuming that Milwaukee's not done with trades at the deadline. They're going to probably be a piece or so away, and they're going to have to make one last move. So it's all or nothing from Milwaukee right now to keep Giannis happy, and the happiest he could be is winning a championship in Milwaukee this season, at least making it to the finals, and at least hoping, if you get to the finals and you lose to the Lakers or the Clippers or the Warriors in 6 games, at least that's enough to build on. Losing in the second round of the playoffs to the Miami Heat, that was unacceptable for the 2-time reigning MVP of the league, and that's why you had to go out and get that brother some more help. You add Jrue Holiday to that Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo front court. It looks pretty formidable. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think defensively, the Bucks are there. They're there defensively. Offensively, I still think they have issues, and the Bucks did try to shore up some of those woes as well, as they made another trade right after the Jrue Holiday trade was made official, going out and getting Bogdan Bogdanović from Sacramento. The Bucks traded Dante DiVincenzo, Irsay Ilyasova, and DJ Wilson to the Kings. And again, they're going to get Bogdan Bogdanović. Pretty much that's it, all they're getting. Maybe one player will be named at a later date. So you got Bogdan Bogdanović. I don't know if a lot of you guys, casual fans, know about his game. He can shoot the lights out of a basketball. And, the Bucks have been playing with players like that for the last few years, with Dante DiVincenzo, a couple other guys that could shoot the ball, but they're not the shooter that Bogdan Bogdanović is. He will come in and flourish off of Giannis, all right? There are a lot of Bucks fans today that are concerned about the moves that they made because if you look at it, outside looking in, it's like, this Bucks team has been number 1 in the East the last few years, and you got a lot of guys who just know what to do in the regular season. They listen, and they get it done on the court. You traded a lot of that nucleus. I mean, you traded, 6 or 7 guys. But as long as you got Giannis and Middleton, and, Jrue Holiday's a guy that's going to listen and do his job. He's very sound. I think you'll be fine. I think the Bucks will still be number 1 in the Eastern Conference in the regular season next year. I don't know if that'll translate over to playoff success, but I do think they'll still be number 1 out East. As long as you got that big fella in the middle, you're fine. But from a playoff perspective, I don't believe the Bucks enhance their chances dramatically because I'm looking at that team like, in the playoffs, defense wasn't their weakness. It was in the half court late in games where I was looking around thinking, if Giannis can't get you a basket and Middleton's in a shooting slump, what are you going to do? I like Jrue Holiday, don't love him. But again, guys around the league swear by this guy. I think Kevin Durant is on the record of saying Jrue Holiday is the guy that gives him his toughest competition from guarding KD. Like, I think KD believes Jrue Holiday is the toughest defender he's got to go against in the league, just because he's so shifty and his footwork is so great and his hand motion is so great. So, I mean, you got another defender, but I don't think that's what the Bucks needed to address. Is it good to add a Jrue Holiday? Obviously, when you go get an all-star caliber talent, go get him. But I think, number one, the Bucks needed a guy like Chris Paul. And I'm looking at what the Bucks gave up to get Jrue Holiday and to go get Bogdan Bogdanovic, especially when you add in the picks and the swaps. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm OKC, how in the hell do you guys feel more comfortable about what the Suns gave you for Chris Paul? And it looks like the Bucks had much more assets to give you, pretty much not name Giannis and Middleton. And maybe even Middleton could have went. Like, how did you end up with taking that Suns offer versus what the Bucks, it looks like, could have offered you guys? I don't get that one at all. That one is a big question mark for me. But again, the Bucks did something, and I do think they're a tad bit better today than they were yesterday. But I'm not sure. What does a tad bit better in the East mean? What, now you're going 7 games in the second round? You know, I still don't think they're better than Miami. I still don't think today that they're better than a couple of the other teams than KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn. I don't think they're better than that, because I still think KD's better than Giannis. In the fourth quarter, in a series, I mean, KD can get a shot. Kyrie can get a shot. I'm not sold on Middleton and Giannis in the fourth quarter yet, or Jrue. You're hoping to be able to lock up a KD and Kyrie, and maybe you could do that. Maybe that is possible. But, I mean, I'm still looking at the Nets, and for me, the Nets and the Heat in the playoffs are still going to give the Bucks fits, even if the Bucks are able to have the number 1 seed in the regular season. Y'all let me know in the comment box below. What did you think about the Jrue Holiday trade? I think they gave up entirely too much. Entirely too much. The Bogdan Bogdanovic trade is fine. That's fine. But the Jrue Holiday trade, I mean, literally, it is close to what the Lakers gave up to get Anthony Davis. And the Lakers won a championship year 1 with AD, you know, and Jrue Holiday's not coming in to be what AD was for the Lakers. I'm sorry. As much as I like him, I don't love him. You know, Eric Bledsoe, quickly here, Eric Bledsoe, I understand why Milwaukee traded Eric Bledsoe. He just wasn't consistent, you know, and in the playoffs, you need consistency at that point guard position, and he just wasn't making Giannis better anymore. He just was not. And George Hill, I knew George Hill would get moved this summer, coming off of the incident in Milwaukee, in that Wisconsin area, when a gentleman was shot by the police unjustifiably. I knew that, and remember, George Hill was the guy to come out and say, we're not playing in the first round against Orlando. I knew then that George Hill's time would be coming to an end in Milwaukee, so I'm not surprised by that one at all. They wanted to move off of him. That owner was pissed at that. So, yeah. That's where we're at with it. I'll let you guys know when we get more information. Please make sure you got your notification button turned on, because we're throwing these videos out left and right as we get closer and closer to free agency. The NBA offseason is upon thee, and it is always quite the ride.